Hello, and welcome to the first debate on my channel. I'm Joe,
I'm Ryan.
I'm Matt.
and today's topic of discussion is immigration, illegal and legal immigration. So, I personally believe that what needs to happen to the people who've immigrated illegally into this country are as follows. If you were a small child, I would say 6 and under whenever you were taken across the border by your parents, you can stay. That's DACA, that's not your fault. If you are over that age, you had enough of a choice to kind of make a decision and do it by yourself, so thereby you should be sent back. Mexico has 55% of the illegal immigrants that are in our country right now. Canada isn't really a problem because Canadians just stay in Canada. So basically, if you're in this country illegally, you should be gone. We should tighten up border security. We should make ICE more powerful instead of abolishing ICE. Ryan, what do you think?
I believe that immigration in its own has been a topic on the political scale that has been topsy-turvy all throughout history. Immigration is just difficult to begin with. It has very much so, more pros than it does cons. Immigration brings a lot of people from different cultures into the United States, and as they assimilate and embrace our culture, they also bring some diversity and more culture into the United States which you would not have seen before. For example, immigrants brought us Halloween, beloved holiday. And as far as the bad goes, illegal immigrants have been coming into this country, and they cannot find work in the actual the big world as far as America is concerned. So they have to take small jobs such as roofing houses. And many poorer white people and even some poor black people strongly dislike this because they feel that they're taking their jobs. And by all technicalities, they are right that the job should be granted to an American citizen with some sort of resume rather than someone who has just crossed the border.
But what do you think? Do you think the people here illegally should be able to get citizenship, or do you think they should be kicked out?
As far as the people that have come in here, it really all depends. If they have just come in within the past year, they should be, within the past 5 years, if they've only been here less than 5 years, they should be sent back. But if they've been here for more than 5 years, they've built themselves a little empire, they've bought their own house, their own car, you almost wouldn't be able to tell that they crossed the border, then they should be able to stay. But if it's clearly obvious, like the classic 13 Mexican people living in a hotel room, then they gotta go. And what I think we should do about this, we shouldn't completely close immigration on certain countries because that's only limiting the cultural diversity that's coming into our country. And we shouldn't build a wall in front of Mexico. That's just insane. We should up border security for sure. Maybe send more National Guard soldiers down. But what we shouldn't do is build a gigantic wall. That just costs more money. Honestly, what costs more? The salaries of 1,000 National Guard troops sent to the border, or building a wall that's probably hundreds of miles long. And Matt, your thoughts?
I would say that there are definitely some pros and cons to. Okay, I think that people legally immigrating into this country is a perfectly good thing. The reason behind that is immigrants coming into this country can fulfill low-paying jobs and jobs that people do not desire to work for. Okay, I agree with Ryan because immigrants coming into this country promote ethnicity on a national basis. I see that ethnicity plays a large role in my hometown of Pittsburgh. When immigrants came into the city, they brought with them many cultures, beliefs, and customs that have shaped our community today. And to back that up, most of the Pittsburgh community is composed of Irish, Polish, and German descent. I also believe that the citizenship test should be simplified in order to allow immigrants to enter the country at a faster level. Because many people in the U.S. can't even pass this test knowing much U.S. knowledge. Joe, any thoughts?
That's an interesting point about the citizenship test. And I agree. I think it probably should be simplified a little bit, knowing that about 65% of the country doesn't know it. But I think another interesting point to take into account is Ryan mentioned the border wall. He said it would cost a lot. The estimates for the border wall are about 21.6 billion on the low end and 70 billion on the high end. It's estimated that the border wall would take $150 million a year to maintain as well. For those of you who don't know, there's already a large fence on the U.S.-Mexican border. So I agree. I think a border wall is very unnecessary. It's a waste of taxpayer dollars. And if we could send that funding into schools instead of funding some crazy wall that we don't need, I don't see a point to it. What do you think, Ryan?
I fully agree with Matt's opinion about the citizenship test because most families are coming from poorer European countries, like Albania and Romania. And honestly, most parents try to send their kids to America so they can have a better education. I mean, if the whole point is trying to get them to learn, they can't necessarily take an immediate test without having the prior knowledge needed to take said test and pass and become a citizen. And statistics will show you that most of us probably couldn't pass the test ourselves, and we're expecting these poor, uneducated families from other countries, from other continents even, to pass this test that has very specific facts about our country on it, and that's just completely unfair. And as far as the border wall goes, I'd like to thank Joe for finding the statistics on how much it would cost, and I honestly don't know if Trump was just having a moment of confidence or he was just honestly drunk out of his mind. But if you want to spend that much money just to build the fence that we already have, wouldn't it be just so much more worth it to up your security? It's a problem that the Mexicans are just completely destroying our border patrol right now, but the way to solve it is not by throwing a bunch of money down the toilet on building a wall that will probably be torn down whenever he gets out of office anyways. Because honestly, say this wall even gets passed, by the time that it hits 2020, if he doesn't get reelected, I don't think the Democrats are going to keep that wall up. They're just going to tear it back down. And he can't build the wall in the last 2 years he does have on his term. There's just no way. Matt, any thoughts on the wall?
I agree with these two gentlemen. I think the border wall is irrelevant to the U.S. because it will cost billions and possibly trillions of dollars to afford. And let's face it, Trump is not going to dig into his private savings account to pay for this one. It's going to hurt us more than it will help us in the long run. And with the wall standing, new immigrants trying to come into this country illegally will think of new methods to try to break in, possibly bombing or even trafficking drugs into this country for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Matthew.
And I'm Joe from Joe's Political Chatter. If you enjoyed this video today, please like, share, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this, comment down below saying you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you all soon. And remember, stay informed.